Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about political parties. Yeah, woo, such a great topic. Well, I'm probably mentioned, there's only one other video on my channel so far, but in it, I mentioned that I'm a libertarian. And I'm going to show specifically what that means and kind of my views on topics. And maybe some other people that I know, their views, to kind of put into perspective. First of all, what is libertarianism? And this is from Online Dictionary. Libertarian, one who advocates maximizing... Let's see if we can zoom in on that. One who advocates maximizing individual rights and minimizing the role of the state. I'm sorry, I'm very messed up. Anyways, that's from a dictionary, and then we also have the online Advocates for Self-Government. It's kind of an organization of libertarians, and we have the president and each of the important people of their organization defining libertarianism in their own words. The president, Sharon Harris, defines libertarianism as libertarianism is, as the name implies, the belief in liberty. Libertarians believe that each person owns his own life and property, and has the right to make his own choices as to how he lives his life and uses his property, as long as he simply respects the equal right of others to do the same. I think that's an excellent definition, and what I love most is the last part, dash, as long as he simply respects the equal right of others to do the same. Now, there are a lot of people out there who kind of believe in their own freedom and everything, but they condemn certain groups of people. You know what I mean, like racism and discrimination, basically. Racism and sexism and homophobic things like that. And basically, libertarianism is, as she defined it, the freedom of all people and the respect to let the other people in your community have that same freedom. Which that's the best part of that definition. Then they had Executive Vice President David Bose. Sorry, I'm horrible about butchering names. David Bose. Libertarianism is the view that each person has the right to live his life in any way he so chooses, as long as he respects the equal rights of others. Libertarians defend each person's right to life, liberty, and property, rights that people possess naturally before governments are created. In the libertarian view, all human relationships should be voluntary. The only actions that should be forbidden by law are those that involve the initiation of force against those who have themselves used force. Then it goes on to list such uses of force, just crimes. Basically, he outlined that libertarianism is the freedom to pursue your own adventure in life, and then to respect the equal freedoms of others. And then it went on to say that as long as your actions don't harm anyone else, as long as, I believe, that would mean any crimes with a victim. It says actions like murder, rape, robbery, kidnapping, and fraud. So basically, you can tell that he would probably be someone who only condemn certain criminal acts that have a victim. I'm kind of the same way, except there are always exceptions. It just depends on I feel it's wrong when a government might create or pass laws to that actually don't, in fact, protect anyone, or maybe even limit people. I don't think there should be laws to limit your freedom at all, unless if such laws were violated, it would lead to the victimization of someone. So someone would be victimized as a result of not having the law to protect the victims, potential victims. Alright, next one was a board member. Libertarianism is a philosophy. The basic premise of libertarianism is that each individual should be free to do as he or she pleases, so long as he or she does not harm others. In the libertarian view, societies and governments infringe on individual liberties whenever they tax wealth, create penalties for victimless crimes, or otherwise attempt to control or regulate individual conduct which harms or benefits no one except the individual who engages in it. Alright. Actually, again, this definition specifies that governments infringe on individual liberties whenever they tax wealth, create penalties for victimless crimes, or otherwise attempt to control or regulate individual conduct which harms or benefits, blah, blah, blah. But basically, that's what I was outlining right there, was that victimless crimes, basically, yeah, what I said. Alright. Now I'm going to talk about, under libertarianism, I gave you the first definition, but obviously that's kind of vague. One who advocates maximizing individual rights. And then, obviously, that leaves a lot of room for kind of forming different groups, depending on your views on certain details. So, up here, I have for before, here's libertarianism on this map of political parties that I actually, I've used that several times before in school papers and things like that. But I really like this kind of political party map because, because it kind of shows how libertarianism is here on this line, and it's, if you go further on the line, this is like a graph almost, as you can see. Out here it says personal freedoms, and up here it says economic freedoms. The further out you go, the more each one increases. So you kind of, here's fascism close to the beginning. The beginning is like the beginning here is at 0. It's like an impossible kind of view. I mean, like, it's literally impossible to be at 0 on this, because it's like so totalitarian, like so like, as you can see, fascism is already a totalitarian kind of, the government controls everything kind of view, and you just can't get that closer to 0 unless it was literally like there was some kind of one main government that kind of controlled our minds, and it's like literally impossible. You just can't keep people from having certain freedoms that because everyone has the ability, they have the cognitive ability to make choices, and it's just, yeah. Basically, that's why there's nothing at 0. And then you move up to fascism, and then there's statism, and if you can kind of see this, statism is literally basically the opposite of libertarianism. I mean, if you can see, down here is fascism, and then the complete opposite of that is anarchy. Anarchy is up there, It's basically the freest known perspective kind of in our society. Like that's as far as you can basically go. That's defined. I mean, you could still increase. That's why I like it looks like a graph, because at 0 it's like so impossibly totalitarian that like people, you just literally can't define that. And then you go further up, there's anarchy, and then past that you just can't define that. So I kind of like how they did this. And then it also shows anarchy is exactly opposite to fascism, libertarianism exactly opposite to statism. Statism is just that the government kind of regulates everything. Kind of, that's a whole different kind of view. And then here, I believe, I'm not sure what this circle was. I couldn't figure out before because it is closer to libertarianism, and I wonder why. But I thought that was more of like a centrist view, someone who's kind of in the middle on most issues. Which, I mean, if I was making this, then I would actually place it right in between these two, libertarianism and statism, and kind of make it the centrist. I believe that's what that's going for. And then what I also enjoy is that down here we have like liberal and up here is conservative. So then we have those complete opposites. So you can have more libertarian liberals like classical liberals. That would be a good example of that, actually. And then conservatives is like if you were kind of closer up here. Like if you could literally they have maps that look like this, so you map out where you're placed in the political party spectrum. And if you were around here, you would be more like neo-libertarianism. And then on the opposite, you have, I mean, that might be closer up here. And then on the other side, you might have things like classical liberalism, which were most of the founding fathers, if you didn't know. Classical liberalism is kind of a liberal view, but on like most issues and topics, except they also believe strongly in the rights of the individual, so that's why it's kind of closer to libertarianism. And actually, some people define classical liberals under libertarianism, because that's basically what they were. They were, I mean, if you really think about it, at the time when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, or Founding Fathers, like most people know the Declaration of Independence as the most important document of the classical liberal party. And then that's basically how that's set up. And then, like I said before, actually, over here is a map that I got after taking a quiz. Turns out I'm right about here in the middle of libertarianism. Kind of, I'll get into my views about liberal and conservative later, but basically I kind of have a blend of both. Then it also has the same kind of look, where personal issues, economic issues, you can see economic near the conservative and personal near the liberal, kind of the same how it's set up here. But I like this one for mapping things out, because it's easier to map things out, and it doesn't have like a 0 when it moves up. And that's about it on that. And then, like I said, libertarianism is kind of a spectrum in itself, and people can be anywhere along this map in that area and still define themselves as a libertarian. But that's kind of what I showed you to put it into perspective where that would be, like when you're talking about libertarian and libertarians. And then that's all I have for this video. Basically, in my view, libertarianism is the advocacy for the rights of the individual, and I kind of believe, as one of my main principles, is that all people, no matter who they are, anyone, can do anything they want, practice any kind of lifestyle they want, as long as it does not directly harm anyone. And that doesn't mean the same as offends someone, because if you say it offends someone, then I could basically silence somebody else for practicing their beliefs, whatever it is. So that's why I don't kind of include offense in there, because offending someone isn't the same as directly harming them in my definition. And some people will get offended at like everything, and think of certain modern day feminists basically can get offended by anything said that they don't agree with. So that's what I also like about libertarianism, is that it includes lots of different views. Basically, you can believe whatever you want, and that's the very premise of libertarianism, is you can believe whatever you want, and you can practice any lifestyle you want and be a libertarian. And basically, the different factions of libertarianism, which I'll get to in the next video, the very different factions within libertarianism are only the different lifestyles, the different views that are included within this. Because libertarianism is literally, you can practice whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt another person. So, that's it. This video is over now. Peace out, man.